I just realized that I explained myself too much. I thought it was maturity, but it's not. It's actually pressure. I don't actually struggle with communication. I struggle with being misunderstood. The moment I feel someone has gotten me wrong, something in me reacts immediately. I can't sit with it. I need to fix it, clarify it, clean it up. Now, not later, right now. In that moment, I cannot sit still. For me, it is the urgency that comes up in my chest. I need to fix it. I need to explain myself. I need to clarify myself. Pause. Why does it feel so urgent? Because I'm no longer protecting truth in that moment. I'm protecting perception. And those two are not the same. Let me say something to you that you might not like at first. You do not actually struggle with communication. You struggle with being misunderstood. And that discomfort that you feel, it controls you more than you realize. Because the moment you feel misread, you lose yourself. Whereby running into other people's mind to fix their version of you. To manage how it ends, how you are seen, how you are being understood, and how people feel about you. It looks harmless, but it drains you because you are consistently working, like emotionally working, to keep everything smooth, clear, and understood. No tension, no discomfort. That is where power drops. And life doesn't work like that. There'll always be moments where you are being misread, where your silence is being misunderstood, and where your intentions are being questioned. And if every time that happens, you feel the need to jump in and fix it, you will never rest. Because not everything needs your immediate voice. Some things need your stillness. Delayed reaction is not silence, it's restrainant. It's you feeling everything rise, the urge, the panic, the let me explain real quick energy, and choosing not to. Delayed reaction doesn't mean you will never speak. No, you will speak, but from clarity, from calmness, from control. Okay? And it's not like that emotional spikes that makes you feel like if you don't explain right now, something is going to like fall apart. Nothing is falling apart, darling. You see, when you rush to explain, you collapse the moment, you remove the weights, and make it easy for people to move on without questioning themselves. But when you pause, now there is space. You make it, you give people opportunity to think like, did I get that right? Why did she react? Did I hear her well? I don't know if you get that tension, that silence. That is where awareness is born. That is where respect quietly begins to form. Because people don't respect what is always available for explanation. They respect what is grounded enough to wait. If someone questions you and you rush to defend yourself, you're automatically telling the person that I need you to get me right now. But if you pause, you are now telling the person that I'm not shaken by what you think about me. I'm not shaken by your perception of me. Do you see the difference? You don't have to fight for clarity anymore. You don't have to rescue your image. Sometimes you just let it sit. It's not because you don't care, but because you trust that what is real about you does not need constant defending. And I needed to notice that the more you explain yourself too quickly, the more people get used to you explaining yourself quickly, and they begin to expect it unconsciously. They just expect that you come and explain yourself, you come and dissolve it, you come and clarify it up, you come and clean up the mess. But when you stop, they start like sitting with their silence. They start questioning themselves, questioning their assumptions. They begin to adjust really quickly. Like they begin to adjust. That's influence. Not quiet, not loud, but like very strong influence. You need to understand that silence is power when it's grounded. Silence is control when it's not coming from a place of fear. It's not like you're ignoring or you're deciding to avoid a situation. You're just telling yourself that this moment doesn't deserve my immediate reaction. That's decision, that's maturity. That decision is maturity. Real maturity is sitting down in a moment where people misunderstand you and remaining steady, not like trying to clear it up, clarify it up, or trying to like prove or defend yourself. It's sitting down in that moment and letting everybody's perception about you be their perception, not what you think about yourself. So next time the urge rises again, notice it, feel it, but don't rush to fix it. Just let it sit, like enjoy the moment, enjoy the heat from the moment. Let there be like a space between what you do and how you feel, because in between that space, that is where power lives. Stay a bit longer, even if your emotions are saying, your mind, your everything in your body is saying, let's just say something, let's just clarify this thing up, or let's just remove this perception. You need to understand that not everything, remember, not understand that not everything needs your voice immediately. Okay, darling, something needs your stillness. You are not wrong for feeling the urgency. Most people feel that urgency and they just obey it. They don't question it. They don't like sit down to think about it. They don't sit down to process their emotions. They just obey it. They think it's like their personality. They think it's responsible to just react. If I'm being honest, there are moments where I didn't give people time to like understand me. I explained it too fast. I tried to fix it too fast. So nothing really had time to exist as it was, and I did not know what that was doing to me, because I realized that when you begin to like explain yourself to people too much, to like prepare people's perception about you, you will never get to experience how people process you without your interference. Like, you won't have the opportunity to know how they were thinking about you without you trying to over explain yourself. You don't see what is real versus what you're trying to control, and slowly you start living inside their reaction, not your truth but their like interpretation. And that is a heavy way to live, because now you'll be always adjusting, always monitoring, always trying to fix the gap, even before it becomes a gap. We need to understand that life always has gaps. Life always creates gaps. Silence always creates gaps. Human beings always create gaps. And you are if you are like terrified of the gaps, you will never rest. In your friendship, you will not rest. In relationship, you will not rest. At work, you will not rest. Even with yourself, you won't rest. That's what I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn that not every gap is a threat. Some gaps are just silence, and it's okay for silence to exist. Some gaps are just space for people to think, space for people to process, space for people to meet you where they are already at and not where you want them to be. And when I stopped rushing every gap, something actually changed. People don't misunderstand me less, but I stopped losing myself in their misunderstanding. I stopped chasing their understanding. I stopped editing myself in real time. And that changed everything. Now I could actually stay in my own presence, even when I'm misread, when I'm misunderstood, and when I'm perceived wrongly. And that is not easy at first. It's almost like you're doing something wrong, like you should step in, you should fix it, you should defend yourself, you should clarify the moment. But you don't actually do anything, you just stay. And in that moment, you learn something important. You don't disappear because someone misunderstands you. You don't become less of who you are because you are misread or misunderstood. Slowly, you start trusting yourself more than you trust another person's perception of you. And that changes your entire nervous system because you're no longer living in reaction, you are living in awareness. You don't need to rush, you don't need to explain everything immediately, you don't need to rush, you don't need to fix everything instantly, and you don't need to explain yourself in exhaustion. You can speak when it's needed and stay quiet when it's not, because both of those moments are very powerful. Speaking, not the silence, but the fact that none of those moments controls you. So, guys, I remain your girl, Kelly Ifokwe. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.